You wake up after a full night's sleep, 7, maybe 8 hours. But the moment you open your eyes, something feels off. Your body is awake, but your brain isn't. You reach for your coffee, hoping it'll clear the fog. You read the same sentence twice. You forget why you walked into the kitchen. If that sounds familiar, that morning fog that just won't lift, you're not alone, and it's probably not your age. Here's what surprised me after 20 years of seeing patients over 60. So many of them came in thinking brain fog was just part of getting older, something they had to accept. But most of the time, it wasn't. It was something they were eating, or more importantly, something they weren't. I remember one patient, let's call her Helen. She was 72, a retired school teacher in Arizona. Sharp as a tack her whole life. But about a year ago, she started noticing something strange. Every morning, for the first 2 or 3 hours, her brain felt wrapped in cotton. She'd lose her train of thought mid-sentence. She'd stand in front of the pantry, not remembering what she was looking for. She told me she started avoiding morning phone calls because she didn't want her daughters to worry. She thought it was the beginning of something serious. I ran some tests. Nothing alarming showed up. But when I asked her what she ate for breakfast every morning, she looked at me like I'd asked the wrong question entirely. She was having toast with jam and black coffee every single morning. No protein, no fat, no brain fuel at all. And then she mentioned something almost as an afterthought. Oh, and I take my vitamin D before bed. I heard it helps with sleep. I stopped her right there. Because vitamin D suppresses melatonin, the hormone your body needs to wind down. Taking it at night is like telling your brain to stay alert while your body is trying to sleep. The result is sleep that feels long enough, but never truly restores you. Helen had been doing this for 14 months. She wasn't sleeping poorly, she just wasn't recovering. And then she'd wake up, eat zero brain fuel, and wonder why her mind felt wrapped in cotton until noon. 2 problems, working together, every single day. That's when the picture came together. So why does the brain get foggy in the morning, especially after 60? It comes down to 3 things that change as our bodies get older, and none of them have anything to do with intelligence or mental decline. Number 1, your stomach acid. After 60, many of us produce less of it. Doesn't sound like a brain thing, I know. But here's the connection. When stomach acid drops, you absorb fewer nutrients from your food, especially B vitamins, iron, and magnesium. Those 3 nutrients are the raw materials your brain uses to make the chemicals that keep you alert and clear-headed. Less absorption overnight means waking up with an empty tank. Number 2, your internal clock shifts. After 60, the body's circadian rhythm naturally moves earlier. You might fall asleep at 8 and wake at 4 in the morning. That's not a problem by itself. The problem is when you're taking supplements or eating at times that fight against that new rhythm. More on that in a minute. And number 3, subtle changes in blood flow to the brain. As arteries naturally stiffen with age, the brain can get slightly less oxygen in the morning hours, right when you need it most to transition from sleep to wakefulness. Certain foods can either help that process or make it worse. These 3 things together, that's the recipe for morning brain fog. But here's the hopeful part. You can address all 3 of them, starting with what you put on your plate. The first food is wild salmon. Or if salmon isn't your thing, sardines, mackerel, even canned tuna packed in water. Why it matters for morning brain fog. These fish are loaded with long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA. and DHA is literally part of your brain's structure. About 30% of the gray matter in your brain is made of DHA. When your levels get low, the communication between brain cells slows down. Messages take longer to travel. That's what brain fog actually feels like. Slow traffic between neurons. But timing matters here. A 2022 study found that older adults who ate omega-3 rich fish at breakfast had better cognitive performance within 2 hours compared to those who ate it at dinner. The brain seems to use those fats most efficiently in the morning. You don't need a big fillet. Even 2 or 3 ounces of smoked salmon on whole grain toast or half a can of sardines on crackers will do it. The key is getting that DHA into your system early, not at dinner. The second food is eggs. And please, eat the whole egg. The yolk is where the brain benefits are. Egg yolks contain something called choline. Choline is the building block for acetylcholine. That's the neurotransmitter your brain uses for focus, memory, and mental clarity. When acetylcholine drops, you get that scattered, can't put two thoughts together feeling. Here's something else. The yolk also contains lutein and zeaxanthin. Most people know those for eye health, but newer research shows they accumulate in brain tissue too, especially in regions tied to memory and processing speed. 1 or 2 eggs in the morning, scrambled, poached, boiled, however you like them, is one of the most reliable ways to give your brain the raw materials it needs to clear that morning fog. The third food is blueberries, or any dark berry really, blackberries, dark cherries, even purple grapes. Blueberries are rich in flavonoids, specifically something called anthocyanins. These compounds cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in the hippocampus. That's your brain's memory center. A 2023 review of multiple studies found that older adults who ate a serving of blueberries daily showed improved cognitive performance, including better attention and faster processing speed within just a few weeks. Here's the part I never expected when I first read this research. The hippocampus, your brain's memory center, is one of the only parts of the adult brain that can still generate new cells, even after 60. And the anthocyanins in blueberries appear to support exactly that process. Most people spend years worrying that their brain is only going in one direction, but the research suggests it's more adaptable than we give it credit for. That's not a small thing. That's actually quite remarkable. And here's what I love about this one. Frozen blueberries have the same nutritional value as fresh, sometimes even more, because they're frozen at peak ripeness. A handful on your oatmeal or in plain yogurt, that's all it takes. The fourth food is walnuts. Just a small handful. Walnuts give you 2 things your morning brain craves. First, more omega-3s, but in a plant form called ALA. Your body converts some of it, and the rest supports blood vessel health. Which matters because, remember, morning brain fog is partly about blood flow to the brain. Second, walnuts are one of the few foods that contain melatonin, the sleep hormone. But they deliver it in tiny amounts, not enough to make you drowsy in the morning. Instead, what it seems to do is help regulate your circadian rhythm over time. Eat a few walnuts in the morning consistently, and your brain gradually learns when to be alert and when to wind down. I tell my patients 6 to 8 walnut halves with breakfast. Not a full bowl, just a small handful. It's not about quantity, it's about consistency. So let me put this together into a simple morning practice. This is what I suggested to Helen, and what she did for the next 4 weeks. 2 scrambled eggs with half a can of sardines on the side, or 3 ounces of smoked salmon, a small bowl of oatmeal with a handful of blueberries and 6 walnut halves, water or herbal tea, not just coffee. And if you're taking vitamin D, move it to this breakfast, not the evening. We already talked about why, and Helen's story is what happens when you get that wrong for 14 months without knowing it. We fixed both things. 4 weeks later, she told me her morning phone calls with her daughters were back. If you've been living with that morning fog, that feeling of your brain taking 2 hours to boot up, try this for 2 weeks. These 4 foods in the morning consistently. The foods work together. The omega-3s from the fish, the choline from the eggs, the flavonoids from the blueberries, and the blood flow support from the walnuts. Together, they're giving your brain what it's been missing every morning. And here's the thing about brain fog. Most of the time, it's not a disease. It's not the beginning of something terrifying. It's a signal. Your brain is telling you it needs different fuel. Listen to that signal. In the next video, I want to talk about one specific vitamin that plays an enormous role in protecting your memory after 60. And most people have no idea they're low on it. It's not what you think. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. I'm Dr. William Harris, reminding you that we can't always control aging, but we can absolutely shape the way we live through it. Stay strong, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next video. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, supplements, or health routine.